Hello everyone, I'm Shemcat and the Ganglion are about 3 hours, 27 minutes and 4 seconds away from destroying the Lifehold. So before that happens, I got a speedrun explaining the speedrun for the new version of Xenoblade Chronicles X, now on the Nintendo Switch 2, because the loads are faster than on the Switch 1. Before time starts, we create our character and name them. This is the Joe Cat, and immediately we swap over to Elma. Elma is a higher level than us, and also a full metal jaguar rather than a drifter, so is set up to do way more damage, which we see immediately against the three Graxes by basically one-shotting the first with a stream edge. So Elma stays broken as we take down our first tyrant, Volkampf the Pursuer, but in Chapter 3 the game opens up a bit by bringing us to the other part of Xenoblade X, the exploration. As you probably know, progressing the main story is often locked behind the tracked percentage of Mira, so we start placing probes and picking up treasure, and the way we go about doing this is pretty weird. In places like New LA where there aren't any enemies, it's faster to jump rather than just sprinting. But when there are enemies about, the fastest way to move becomes drawing your weapon and then spamming the short hop you can do in combat. So we do that to move over to the border between Primordia and Oblivia, and then Elma all over the place in our first encounter with the prone, then meeting him. Now we can move on to a more dedicated exploration section, where we play as Doug. Not for any combat reasons, but since he's level 18 and has a couple thousand HP. We take the tour through Oblivia, collecting some critical frontier nav sites, and then warp to Primordia, getting some more landmarks and moving to Noctilum, exploring a decent amount of the continent. We can now start Chapter 4, but before going into any more fights, we gotta get hench. Gwyn has the art Ultra Slash, which is strong as is, but has a crazy 400% damage bonus when attacking enemies from behind. We can take advantage of this, as well as increasing our damage through offensive stance to deal some crazy damage to these level 30 Swedes. Do this a few more times, and we'll have unlocked the skill Executioner on Elma, but before using it, we'll unleash some more Gwyn on the story fights, and then the Affinity mission, and then move on to Chapter 5. Gwyn is banned from being used, so we'll swap back onto our player-controlled Elma, and we can deal with these first few fights in basically the same way. Shadowrunner to a Primer, followed by an Executioner to do some okay damage. You might know that 2 of these 3 arts require 1000 TP to use, but we have Blood Sacrifice, so TP management is a breeze as it'll half our health but give us 1k TP. A risky move, but we can also just do it out of combat and recover all of our HP before going into another fight. This is, and I cannot stress this enough, the absolute bread and butter of this speedrun, so if you don't like it, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, you should probably leave like right now. Oh yeah, we also just unlocked Overdrive. Okay, now we've gotten rid of the fake fans, let's take a look at why exactly Executioner is so damn good. On its own it already has super decent damage, 250% over 12 total hits, and then if you do it in a ranged combo, aka after something like Primer or Sliding Slinger, it'll get plus 175% more damage. And then if we use the secondary cooldown, which is really easy to get in this game thanks to quick recast, there's another plus 250% damage bonus. And then add Shadowrunner to the mix. This will increase our potential, which increases the potency of TP arts like Executioner, and will also grant a damage bonus from behind. And then there's Overdrive. By getting enough hits, we can get up to 6 times our damage and decrease enemy resistances by 100%. And Tertiary cooldown will also give another 400% damage. All that's to say, Fierce Vigent,
Executioner!
Painted Sphinx,
Executioner!
Chatseek, the Flash.
Executioner!
Oh hey, we've unlocked a Skell. One of the coolest things we can do with this art though, build up a high overdrive count on some weak Grexes, and then use our tried and true combo to one-hit kill 3 level 60 Immortal Ictuses, starting from level 21. And now we have our Skell, we can move around much faster and interrupt our regularly scheduled executions for some more exploration, seeing more of Oblivia, as well as Silverlum and Kuldros. Once we go back home, we decide to upgrade our Skell to Armdusius, as well as kitting it out with some new arts, the most vital of which is Phoenix, because it will murder everything in a 5-mile radius. We can use it against a bunch of level 60 Germivores, and then die ourselves to reset their positions to farm regular XP and class XP, so that we can make the Joe Cat a full metal jaguar, just like Elma, except even stronger. We're at the point in the game where everything doesn't die in one hit. So for the rest of the run, the general fight strategy is to immediately overdrive and start with a primer to double the number of hits from our next start, and then use a Ghost Walker to become temporarily invincible before getting our hit count a little higher. Once we're ready, we can use a Shadow Runner to boost our potential in preparation for the finishing blow, but not before using a couple side slashes to fill up our TP, another primer to start off the ranged combo, and then Executioner, or maybe something else if Lau makes himself immune to ranged attacks. Chapter 12 is the end of any percent. Take our now flying Skell to the Lifehold, and we'll execute the Vita twice before it does anything too scary like a Reflect Aura, and then use one final Phoenix to kill all 10 Chimeras in one swoop before going back to Lau. Phase 1, he's a little bit tanky, but in the second phase, we'll unleash everything we've got to try and knock him out as quickly as we can. And you all know how we're gonna go about doing this. Shadowrunner, Primer, Executioner, finishing in 3 hours, 27 minutes, and 3 seconds, saving Mira just on time. But if you're wondering where the definitive final chapter is, rumour has it you can check out twitch.tv/Shemcat to find out. Thanks for watching.